Hello, this is Anna of the Quantum Light Practice. And today I'm inspired to offer a light language transmission for the inner child. When we go through our ascension process, we go through purification. That's part of the awakening. Very high levels of light flood our system, and that light illuminates the shadow, brings forth different obstructions, and these obstructions can be mental constructs, coping mechanisms, ways of processing or not processing trauma. When we're children, many times if we're going through some kind of trauma, most of the time it's related to something that's going on with our parents, or maybe a trauma that they are experiencing that we absorb into our system, and we don't have the tools to navigate. We don't have the tools. We haven't been taught how to handle these things, and we just don't have the experience. And so some of these, we develop coping mechanisms that oftentimes, as we go into as later in adulthood, no longer serve us, and they can affect our work. They can affect our relationships in ways that are not preferred. And so in our ascension process, these things that have been very unconscious for many years may come up to the surface in a powerful way. And it can be very frustrating and very challenging, because as we're moving along in our ascension process and we have a momentum and we start to experience flow, and we're experiencing a beautiful connection, inner connection with Source, this can come up and it can be paralyzing in a way, because the energy can be very heavy. And we have to remember that in the past, we were living with this most of the time. We were used to it. And now that we've had these breakthroughs and we're experiencing life in a different way, when this obstruction comes into consciousness to be addressed, it can be very frustrating. And so that, number one, that's what can happen. These energies come up and we go into resistance. We don't want to go through it. We think, oh, I've already been through this. I already handled this. I don't have this problem anymore. Another way that we resist it. It feels like a burden. It feels like we haven't accomplished anything, that we haven't. And it also feels very familiar as well. That's how we know that we're in when it feels very familiar, this pain. That's how we know that this is a coping mechanism that we've used in our lives for many years, most likely since childhood, and maybe even before that in past life karma and imprints that we're born with. So one of the patterns that may come forth that can be problematic when we're adults is ways of coping with stress, ways with coping with challenges. One of the ways that I've seen in myself and with others is coping mechanism that we use where we withdraw. So there might be a situation that's very stressful, that we're being challenged as adults, and then it's like we regress into a coping mechanism. That could be a very common one, is to get sick, or to engage in some kind of medical crisis. It's very, very common because it takes us out of having to face ourselves, having to face that energy that comes up, that is this obstruction, and that energy that may come up a very common one would be feelings of unworthiness, of not being good enough. So let's say, here's just an example, that there is a challenge in a work situation. We're being challenged. We're being held accountable, perhaps, for a miscommunication or an error, and there is a stressful interaction. One of the ways that can come up, these coping mechanisms from childhood, would be to become ill, to get sick, and in that way be able to withdraw from the energy that's getting kind of intense. We can withdraw and kind of lick our wounds, and also we can do it to get attention as well, because then the person who is demanding something or challenging us, if we get sick, that person then turns around and says, "Oh, are you okay? What can I do for you?" So it kind of diffuses the energy, and then we can find ourselves again. In that illness, in that medical emergency, it's also a way to kind of find ourselves again and ground. And there are many ways that we all do these things. These are the root sources of different types of addictions and different ways of using substances that may not be healthy. There are other ways that we do it through spending money is another way, shopping, eating is another way. And so these are all different ways that we learned how to cope and to kind of numb some of the rawness of stressful situations when we were children. And these become habits. They're these just kind of default coping mechanisms. And it's not easy to face these things because they're so ingrained inside of us. It's not easy to face these things. And sometimes some of us never do. We just continue in these patterns. And they're so familiar that we don't even know that we're doing it. So this light language transmission is to soften that, facing these kinds of things inside ourselves, and to ensure that we will have support if we choose to move beyond these limitations. Because in the end, when we're using these coping mechanisms, we're not able to work through things. For me personally, one of the things that I would do is withdraw and become depressed and isolate. And so I would be in situations where I was really trying to get along with people. So I would have a lot of people pleasing. I would be tolerating certain things that I could tell did not feel good for me. So I would be tolerating being treated in certain ways that really weren't acceptable, and until I hit a breaking point, and then I would be very upset and have a meltdown, let's say. So it was very black and white, either people pleasing or having a meltdown. And so, but there are so many areas in between where things can be worked through, where there can be communication, where there can be moments to really feel those feelings of discomfort and work through them, to feel those energies of abuse that we experienced in the past. There's a way to process those feelings so that we don't have to either go to the people-pleasing or to the meltdown. We can work through things in relationships, in work situations. These things take time and practice and support. But we can always ask for support from the divine presence once we become aware, because they will come up again in these patterns will repeat themselves until we're ready to face them. And we will continue to attract certain situations that bring up these patterns. And once we choose to face them, instead of running away into these different coping mechanisms, these different habits that no longer serve us, they served us when we were children, but now as adults, they're no longer serving us. They're not allowing us to fulfill our mission. So it's all a very gentle revelation that occurs. This is not something, where we take kind of like a tough love approach, because again, these are coping mechanisms that were created as a way to manage emotions when we were children. The emotions are very raw, very strong, and there's a lot of fear and oftentimes terror in that child within that did not know what was happening around us. We were in terror. And then we learned how to do certain things to manage that fear. So we have to be super gentle when these things are coming up. And we get triggered, and what happens is we get triggered with coworkers, we get triggered with our family, we get triggered with our children, and we're not quite sure how to handle it. So the only thing that we can do is to bring awareness, to bring light, to bring our higher self, the divine presence into the situation. We become aware that we've gone unconscious in these patterns. We're in suffering. And in that moment, we can call in divine presence. We call in presence, we call in consciousness. And we ask to be supported as the pattern unravels. Take a deep breath. And immediately I'm seeing the goddess Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin is the divine mother of compassion. And she is an expert in supporting us as we go through our healing process with possible types of abuse in our past, and and how these ways of coping are affecting us in the present time. So she's going to assist us in as much as possible, as much as we're ready to today, to bring ease and grace into this process, to bring love, to bring trust. When we trust in the presence, we don't have to figure it out. We let go. We become aware. An unconscious pattern comes into the forefront. We acknowledge it. We do the work we need to do, which is to feel it, to allow it to be, to to choose not to go into the habitual coping mechanism, but to allow that part of us to be. Because we're calling back, when these things come into consciousness, we're calling back lost parts of ourselves. Take a deep breath. The goddess Kuan Yin is here, and she's offering her mantra. Om Mane Padme Om. Om Mane Padme Om. Om Mane Padme Om. Surunuani Shuruani 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 Surukuruani Surunuani Kuruani Surunuani Suruani Harikini Churuani Chakati Chukwara Surukuchuani Chukwani Churuani Churukuruani Sukurua Harikiri Chikoruani Churukuruani Churuani Surukurua. Let go. We breathe in and release. These sounds are coming forth to unravel the constructs of the mind, to soften the pattern. We're bringing ease into this process, and we're calling forth the grace of Divine Mother, divine nourishment, and love. We are willing to allow love to transform this pattern. Let go. Take a deep breath and let go. Take a deep breath and let go. And in this moment, we are simply calling forth the willingness to see the pattern. We are only asking for the divine grace and the willingness inside ourselves to be open, to allow ourselves to see, and to allow ourselves to connect with that child inside, that did not feel safe, the child that was terrified by what was going on in the world around, what was going on in the process of adults that we were dependent on, that we were deeply connected to. And the different tendencies that we had and the coping mechanisms we developed in order to stay connected, in order to survive. We had to stay connected to the adults in our lives. And many times we adjusted in ways that are no longer serving us. So this is a process. It's nothing that will change overnight. It's just more and more awareness. And the more aware we become, the more we can choose the ways that we respond, the more space there is to make a choice. Because before we become aware and do these processes to come into more consciousness, we are driven in our responses and reactions. We just react in a habitual way that leads to a habitual series of actions and feelings and responses from other people, some of which may be very painful. So in this moment, we are choosing willingness. We are willing to see. To see is to be free. Harakushukuwa. Henichi chichin koruchuna kanichi. Kanowana chonokoha sunusunuwa chinusunukuru kiniki shinakorwa naki. Hi nakina sunakoro shinako sanishina sunuwana moruana. Sinekina sunuwana shinakorwana chinikis sukuru shinakuana. Harakini shinako sosuana. Divine nourishment. So now we're going to bring forth the nourishment of the Divine Mother to soothe us, to support us, to bring us into a higher vibrational energy stream. Sorokono waina kina, sorokono wana shino wana, sorokono shino wanina, horokono wana nina ni shino wana ki, horokono waina ki, horokono waina ki, soroko soro wana kina, sorokono shino wai. Take a deep breath. Let go. This is Anna of the Quantum Light Practice, and you may contact me if you'd like to continue with this work. If any of this is resonating with you, you can contact me and we can talk about it and see if there's any way that I can serve you in your ascension process. Align with the divinity that is you. Blessings to you.